Hi everyone, Sarah here. Welcome to a video tutorial here at Mrs. Lincoln's Inkin. Today we are making this cute bunny card. I am obsessed with it. I love it. I've seen a few cards like this before with the bunny in the hole, but I wanted to make mine 3D, so I layered the cardstock on top of each other so it was actually like the bunny was going into the hole instead of flat on the paper. So I wanted to go ahead and show you how I made this card. So let's go ahead and get started. First, what you're going to need is a piece of cardstock, and I'm using the baked brown sugar today, and we need to cut this to our normal size card. So 8.5 by 11, we're gonna cut it at 4 1/4, so right in half, and then we're going to score it at 5 1/2, and that is going to give us our base card. So then when we fold it in half, there you go. That's the base of our card. Pretty simple. So now for the top layer, we're using the exact same color, baked brown sugar, and we are going to cut this at 4 and then 5 1/4. Just like that, and then that's going to give us, it's going to layer on top, and it's going to give us about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Alright, so now we're done with the paper trimmer, so I'm going to put that away. We are using the large wood grain stamp set today, and I'm going to be using my soft suede ink because I don't want to do a tone on tone. I want the grooves of the tree trunk to pop out a little bit. So I'm going to ink up my stamp with the soft suede here, and then I'm going to take the base of my card and I'm going to place it right on my stamp here. Take a scratch piece of paper and rub my hand over that baked brown sugar just to make sure that it gets really good coverage. Okay. Take my paper off, flip this over, perfect. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing here with the stamp again, inking it up again with the soft suede. Now I'm going to take my other piece here that I cut at 4 by 5 1/4, place that on top, and then rub with my scratch paper. There we go. And then flip it over. Perfect. Now the way that I clean my big stamps is I just take a baby wipe and wipe it off. And if you leave it set for a minute, it's not going to hurt it. So, alright, so now we have the base of our card and we have the other part of our card here. What we need to do is we need to cut a circle right here in the middle that is our hole. So let me grab the Big Shot real fast. Bring this over here to make sure you can see it. Alright, now I'm going to take, I have my magnetic platform down, my clear plate, baked brown sugar, and I'm using the circle framelits today. Dropped one, sorry. And the one that I am using, and I'm sorry, they're falling all over the place here. I ran out of magnet sheets. Essentially is going to be the 4th largest one from the smallest. So 4 counting outward. And I'm just going to position this where I want it on my piece of paper, trying to get it center somewhat wherever I want it. That looks good to me. Take my other clear plate here, and then I'm going to run this through the Big Shot. And then it just pops out like that. Perfect. Okay, so now we're done with the Big Shot, so I'm going to get that thing out of the way. Alright, so now this is just a scratch piece. You can throw it away or use it for a different project later, whatever you want. So now this is going to go on to here. How cute. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. And I'm going to take some dimensionals, and I am not shy with the dimensionals. You can never have too many dimensionals, in my opinion. Now earlier, when I was first making this card, I wanted it to be really puffed up. So I tried putting 2 dimensionals on top of each other. Now that might be a little bit too many dimensionals because it did not look right. So I guess I should take back, you can never have too many dimensionals, because clearly you can. Alright, so now the nice thing that I like about this wood grain stamp set too is that you can line the lines up. So you can kind of, you know, make sure that your base is even and all the lines will match up, and there you go. Perfect. Cute, 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 cute. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to do the grass down here at the bottom. So I'm using a piece of wild wasabi, and this is cut at 3/4 by 4 1/4. Now I'm going to take the new fringe scissors. Love these scissors, and they're available right now in the Occasions Mini. And I'm going to start at the very end, and I'm just going to eyeball it and cut up. And I'm eyeballing it because grass is not perfect. It's never the same. So if I have a longer piece somewhere, you know, or a gap, that's okay with me. That's kind of the look that I'm going for. So if you want to make sure that all your lines are even, oh, I shouldn't have been talking. That's all right. Let me grab another piece here. If you wanted to make sure that your lines were even, then what you would do is you would just make a score mark, so you would know where to stop your scissors from going, which maybe I should do, seems how I'm chopping the grass a little too short. Maybe that's why my husband doesn't let me ride on the lawnmower. He doesn't let me cut the grass. If he watches this video ever, then that's probably why. Oh well. Alright, so then let's just, there we go. That's better. So see, then it looks like that, and you get that really pretty fringe. I love it. So then I'm just going to take my snail adhesive here, and I'm going to put it right on the bottom. And then I'm just going to stick this on the bottom like this. There we go. Perfect. All right. And not perfect, it's crooked. Having issues with this grass today. Okay, there we go. That's good. All right, so now moving on to our bunny. I used the same circle framelit that we used earlier to cut the hole, so the 4th one counting outward, and I went ahead and cut a piece of basic black cardstock, and that's actually going to go in the center of our hole, and then it's also going to be the bunny's body. So I cut one of those, and then I used my large oval punch right there, and I cut 2 or punched 2 ovals in Whisper White for his feet. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of snail adhesive on the top of each oval, and then I'm just going to eyeball and where I want his feet to go. No right or wrong, and that looks good to me. Can you see him right there? I just kind of put it maybe a little under halfway up the circle. Then I used my owl, build an owl punch, and I used those 2 little circles right there. And I punched out 4 of those circles in the Blushing Bride. I can't pick the 4th one up here. It's going underneath everything. Alright, there we go. So I cut 4 of those little circles out. And then I used the circle from the Itty Bitty Punch Pack. You get 3 punches in that pack. I used that circle, and I punched 2 of those out in the Blushing Bride as well. these are what we're going to put on his, the little parts of his feet right here. So I'm going to put the larger one right in the middle of the oval on his foot. You could use Tumbo glue, glue dots, whatever you wanted. And then I'm going to put 2 circles, 2 of the little circles on each side of that big circle. So it kind of gives it, kind of looks like Mickey Mouse. The big circle and then the 2 little ears on the top. Great, now I'm thinking about Mickey Mouse cards. Never ending. Alright, so then there is our feet. And let me hold it up here so you can kind of see it. It's really bright in here today. The sun is shining and we haven't seen it in so long. I'm scared to close the window for fear that if I open it again, it'll be gone. So, alright, so here's our bunny. And what we want to do is we want to adhere him to the bottom of the circle there. And you can decide how far you want him, you know, up. Do you want him more up on the circle? Do you want him down like, you know, he's draping over the bottom of it? Whatever you want to do. But first we need to put our basic black in here so it looks more like a hole. So I'm just going to snail the back of my basic black here, and I'm just going to fit it right inside this circle because it's the same size circle, so it fits perfectly. There we go. Lovely. And then you can, if it gets stuck sometimes, you just lift the thing. There you go. Now I'm going to take the back of my bunny here, right on the bottom of him, and a little bit on his feet here. And then I'm going to stick him just with his feet barely off the ground. So it looks like he just jumped right in the hole. He's so cute. Love him. Alright, so there we go. Perfect. Now for his tail, I used cotton balls, and I just broke apart some cotton ball here and just kind of played with it until I got it the way that I wanted it. And it's sticking to me. Kind of rolled it up, you know, pulled it apart, did whatever. Took my Tumbo glue and put a dab right there in the middle. And then I just stuck my cotton ball down. And I want his tail to be nice and fluffy, so. And then just stuck it there. And the nice thing with the Tumbo glue is that if there's like a spot, you know, where you want some more, you just stick the little thing in there, squeeze. There you go. So you can really play with it to get it exactly how you want it to look. Alright, so now the last thing is going to be our sentiment. And I took a piece of Whisper White, and this is cut at 3/4 by 5.5. And we need to grab the paper trimmer real fast. And what we want to do, it's upside down, is I'm actually going to work from the bottom here. We are going to put our paper, this end of our paper, at the 1-inch mark. So over here, there's a little 1, and we're going to put it there, and we're going to score it. Now we're going to move that score mark that we just made down to the 1/4 mark, and then we're going to score. Flip it over, and then do the same thing. Line it up with the 1-inch score mark, score, and then move that down to the 1/4 inch mark, score. Alright, so now we're going to place our stamp, and I'm using the Happy Easter stamp, this stamp right here, which is from the Delightful Dozen stamp set, and I'm using the Coastal Cabana ink. And I chose Coastal Cabana because it made me think of the sky, so that's why I chose it. And I'm using the Stamp-A-Majig today. And I'm going to place my, I already have it, you can't see it, but it's already on there, on my little clear sheet for the Stamp-A-Majig. And I'm just going to place this in between those 2 score marks, the 2 inside score marks. Place my Stamp-O-Majig there and remove the clear piece. And then ink my stamp and stamp. Perfect. The Stamp-O-Majig is like my best friend. Okay, so now these score lines that we made here on our Whisper White, we're going to fold down and we're going to fold up. Then on the other side, we're going to fold down and we're going to fold up. Now, I like to keep it folded when I do this next. I'm going to flag the ends. And so what I do is I keep it folded so I know where it's going. I make a line, a cut in the center. And then from each corner, I meet that center point right there. And then that kind of helps me try and make my flags even. And mind you, this is when I'm not cheating and using either the hexagon punch or some other punch that has a point on it. But this is just easier and quicker right now to do this. There you go. And then it puffs it up like that. So then I'm going to put snail right here on the bottom parts of my banner, on the flags that I just made. And then on this side. And then it lines up perfectly with the top layer piece that you have here. So I line the points up right here, and then I line the points up on the other side. So stick that down, bring this out a bit, and stick it down. And there you go. There is your little Easter bunny stuck in a tree. How cute. And I don't know where the first one went that I showed you, but anyway, it looks exactly like that. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Until next time, happy inking!